Boris Johnson has been having a bit more fun today, hasn't he?
Indeed. If you like your politics to be entertaining, it's been quite an entertaining day in Parliament. Actually, enormously good fun in the sense that there's been this vote of confidence. Very strange in that Labour wanted to push it last week. The government said no, and then, lo and behold, the government decided to hold a vote of confidence in itself, which is pretty unusual. Also a bit ridiculous in the sense it's not going to go anywhere. Conservative MPs are not going to vote for a general election. I'm not even entirely convinced the Labour Party want a general election. They're certainly not prepared for one, but it's the theatre of politics. And we saw a very bullish Prime Minister today talking clearly about his record within government, trying to defend the actions around the pandemic and his support for Kyiv. I think at one stage he said he was more popular in the streets of Kyiv than he was on the streets of Kensington, which is probably true.
Yeah.
And also clearly getting Brexit done, as he would claim. And he took interventions from Jeremy Corbyn. He was clearly having quite a lot of fun. Was really, really interesting. In saying that, there was that sense of kind of, as you find with these things, the kind of, you know, he was enjoying himself, but the authority draining almost minute by minute, with MPs knowing in that place across the water that in the end of the day, his days are now numbered.
A bit like Margaret Thatcher in 1990, perhaps at her most relaxed in the House of Commons in her last ever speech.
But she say, I'm enjoying this,
yes,
I'm enjoying this. And there was
did.
that sense with Boris today. Interestingly, with the person sat next to Boris Johnson, of course, the Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss. I mean, talking about trying to send the most deliberate signal possible, she has repeatedly said throughout the weekend in those TV debates that she's been the one that's been loyal to Boris Johnson. She didn't resign. Though it must be noted, she didn't hold her hand up yesterday when asked whether the Prime Minister would serve in her future cabinet. But yes, she is essentially the tacit agreement of Downing Street in this leadership contest, undoubtedly. And Keir Starmer was quite punchy and bold again today. You know, I think it's a pretty easy game of cricket in some ways for Keir Starmer on these occasions, repeatedly challenging all those Conservative MPs who were cheering on the Prime Minister, saying that only a matter of weeks ago you were writing letters.
Days ago.
Calling for him to go because you frankly couldn't trust him. So it was great politics, it was great theatre, it was great parliamentary theatre. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when the vote comes at 10 p.m. tonight, don't expect any great surprises.
No, absolutely.